Hello students, a very good morning to everyone. Welcome to this session. We are going to start the new chapter called as database concept. This is the chapter number 13. From this chapter, you will be having a total of 11 marks. This 11 marks is divided into 4 parts. That means one question will be asked for 1 mark in part A, and one question will be asked in part B, that too for 2 marks, and one question will be asked for 3 marks in part C, and the last one question will be asked for 5 marks in part D. That means you will be having questions in each part A, part B, part C, and part D. That means 1 marks, 1 question, 2 marks, 1 question, 3 marks, 1 question, and 5 mark, 1 question from this chapter. 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, and 6 plus 5 is a total of 11 marks, where you can clearly see here 11 marks is allotted for the chapter called as database concepts. Okay, now we'll just have a discussion today. What do you mean by the term called as a database? The definitions and all we'll just study in the later. Okay, first we'll try to understand database. There are so many live examples we'll come across in our day-to-day life. Okay, the best example I would like to share with you all is ticket booking, a railway reservation. Everyone is aware of this one, how to book a ticket and all. Okay, where some of them have booked through their mobile phone, some of them have booked through the laptop, and some of them have booked through this computer, right? In order to book a ticket, what exactly you will do? So you will go to the particular website, say for example www.irctc.in. I'll just say the website address once again, www.irctc.in. This IRCTC stands for Indian Railway Catering Tourism Corporation. This is for the website. If you just log on to this website, you need to provide your username and password. Okay, then only you can just book your journey. Okay, so what you will do, you will select from and to. From where? From and to where you are going. You need to select the source and the destination places. Okay, after that what you will do, plan for journey. Okay, that means you need to pick the date. You need to select the date. First you will select the source and a destination. Then you will select the date, on which day you are going to so and so place. Then what you will do, you will go, you will ask for this like sleeper coach, AC coach and all. Then you will just press the button. There you will be having a button called as a submit or else a go. Before that you have entered from station, then source and destination, then date of journey, and what type of class, maybe a sleeper coach or AC 1, 2, 1 tier, 2 tier or 3 tier. Then at the end you will be having a captcha code. There you need to enter some numbers, alphanumeric number. Then you will click on submit. See what exactly happens here is, once you click on that go or submit, that railway database, okay, it will try to fetch the data. It will try to access the data which is stored in the database. So what you are doing is you are trying to access the information. So what you have asked, you are going from one place to another place, and on so and so date and so type, which may be a sleeper coach or which may be a like AC tires and all. Okay, so if that particular date someone has booked or not, it is going to it is going to access the data which is stored in the database. This is a one best example. Again, there are so many examples out there. I would like to take one more example. If you go for a medical shops and all, okay, if you ask for a so and so medicines, you will show the prescription slip to the that medical shops. Okay, what they will do, they will take the slip and they will just type and see whether this medicine is available or not in our medical shop. Okay, So they will just type 1 or 2 letters. No, this medicine is not available. What they are doing, they are trying to check whether that medicine is available or not. They are checking in their database. Okay. Again, I would like to give one more example that is related to database. See, in a school or maybe in a college, what we will do in order to get the information of any student, which may be a biology student or which may be a computer science student or which may be an electronic student, I would like to know the marks, how many of them have got the marks like 100 and all. We'll check the student database, complete information with their name, with their father name, okay, and combination and marks and all. Everything can be accessed in the college database. These are the which may be some of the just 3 examples I said. The first one, ticket booking, like railways and medical shops, and even in a school and college. See, this just will have an introduction part here. This first paragraph represents without using the machines, how they used to store the data, like without using the computers and all, how they used to store and record the data. Okay, we'll just have a look into this. Initially, in the beginning time, pages and files were used as part of a manual file system. At that time, they don't have any kind of a computers or machines. They used to maintain in a papers and all. They used to maintain a files. Okay, to store the data for further use. Why we need to store the data? Which will be helpful for the future days. For that purpose, we used to store the data. This type of file management system has several disadvantages. Okay, without the help of a machines and all, if you want to store the data, it is a difficult. Will have a more and more disadvantages. Have a look at this. The disadvantages like data redundancy. That means duplicate data. The same data will be present in more than one places. Data dependency. Okay. Then lack of strong security. Okay. This is a major problem. Okay. Major strong security. We cannot put security for the node files and all, where anyone can access and anyone can modify the data which is stored in that files. Okay. And flexibility to store and access the data. This is what about the manual data without the help of a machine. Now we'll just have a look into the second paragraph, and this is about with the help of a computer system. Later we started using electronic filing system. Okay, means with the help of a machines, we used to store everything on the computer for safety purpose, for security purpose. Okay, anything if you want to access the data, we can easily access the data. Whichever you want, you can easily access. Fine. A filing system for efficient handling of data in an organization. The best example, among 300 or 500 students in a college, if you want to access some particular student information, means we'll just open the system, okay, and we'll just search for the name and we'll access immediately. No need of taking too much of time. Within a few minutes, we can access the data which is present in the database, because it is more helpful to search for desired data. Whatever the data, if you want, you can easily access. You may access the first one, or you may access the last one. Whichever the data the user want, they may access immediately without taking too much of time. Hardly in a couple of minutes, you can easily access the data. And security is strong. With the help of electronic filing system, the security will be the more compared to manual processing. In manual processing, the security will be very less. But in electronic system, the security is strong, very strong. Independently, data records can be accessed and so on. This is about the electronic filing system, and this first paragraph is about a manual processing system. Okay, well, just move on to the next slide. Have a look at this. The DBMS stands for Database Management System. Is a major software application designed to store and access. See, DBMS is a major software application. There are so many software applications which we are using for the database. Is the first one is Microsoft Access. Second one is SQL, stands for Structured Query Language. MySQL, DB2. These are all of the database softwares. You need to remember at least 3 to 4. The first one, Microsoft Access. Second one, SQL, stands for Structured Query Language. Okay, then MySQL, then Oracle. Okay, ORACLE, Oracle. Then last one, DB2, stands for Database 2. These are the DBMS softwares. Okay. The database management system is a major software application designed to store and access the data in terms of databases. So those softwares are helpful to store the data and access the data. We can easily store and we can easily access. Those are the software names as I said earlier. MySQL, Oracle, SQL Server, DB2, Sybase. These are all of the DBMS softwares. It is situated, see, with this software, where exactly it is present, it is situated in between data and user. The DBMS software is present in between data and user, between the both of this. Okay, that is, it provides the data to the user as per the requirements. See, this is most important. The DBMS software is situated in between data and user. User will give a request. Please try to accept. Please go. I want so and so data from the computer. I want so and so data from internet. I want so and so data from so and so website. What exactly will do that RDBMS, that is Relational Database Management System, will just accept the instructions which is given by the user, will accept the instructions which is given by the user and will just go and hit to the from the data. It will go to the particular database and will try to access the data which is present in the database. Whatever the request which is made by the user, that request will be accepted by the DBMS and will just go to the particular database and will access the information and will be displayed on the monitor output device. The best example, as I said, the first example, a ticket booking counter. What exactly will happen is, if you input, what you will input from station and two stations you will enter, source and destination. Okay. For example, you are going from Bangalore to Mysore. From will be Bangalore and to will be Mysore on so and so date. Say for example, 30th September. Okay. Of class type sleeper coach. Then you will click on submit. So you have given the instructions. The database, what exactly will do? The database will directly go to the which website, which database, a railway database, and will try to get the complete information which is requested by the user. That will be displayed on the output device. That is, it provides the data to the user. It provides the data to the user as per the requirements, right? Now, as it stores the data in a tabular manner, okay, all the informations will be stored in the rows and columns in a table format. So data access is efficient. Data access is quite easy and efficient. The reports can be generated quickly by extracting the data from the database. Today, we use relational databases. As I said, relational databases. Once again, I'll just mention the same software names. Once again, the first one is Microsoft Access. In shortcut, we'll call it as a MS Access. Then second one, Oracle, ORACLE. Okay. Then SQL Server. Then comes MySQL. Then comes DB2. DB stands for Database 2. These are the relational database softwares. Okay. So today we use relational database for more efficient data management. Okay. Now we'll move on to the next slide. Have a look at this. some of the applications of a database. This is the most important. This is expected for 5 marks. In a previous question papers has been asked for 5 marks. Explain the applications of database. Okay, you're supposed to explain any 5 of your interested. Okay, the first example here we have taken, the first one is academic application. Academic application means which is related to the school or college or university. See, have a look at this. The databases are used to store the students' information. Have a look at this. The databases are used to store the students' information in the schools, colleges, and as well as universities. That means once the students get into the school or college or university, the student informations will be stored in the college website, college database. Okay, college database, their name, their first name, last name, middle name, date of birth, everything, whatever the data which has given by the user or student, that all things will be stored in the database. See, what exactly we'll do in the college, once you get into the college, what we will do, we'll just enter your details, particulars which you have filled in application form. The same informations we will enter into the system. Okay, that will be stored in the database. So whenever we want to access the same data, that can be accessed very easily. That is what the databases are used to store the students' information in the, which may be in a school or which may be in the colleges or which may be in the universities. This is what the first application, that is academic applications. Well, move on to the second one, that is banking application. This is the one of the best example of a database, as most of them have their own individual bank account, right? So banking applications, the transaction details such as deposit, withdrawal, or transfer of amount from one account to another account is stored in the database. That means most of them have their own individual bank account, almost all. So what you will do, you may be depositing some amount to your bank account, or you may be withdrawing some amount from your bank account, or you may be transferring from your accounts to someone's account. Okay, that and all will be recorded in a bank database. Once you give the passbook to enter the details and all, what are all transactions which were made by you people, right from the beginning to the till end, what they will do, they will take you will take the passbook and they will just ask for to print the transactions history. So they what they will do, they will just enter your account number details, and they will get the complete statements and all, and they will insert this passbook into the printer machine. It gets complete information on which date you have done so and so transaction. So deposit is done on so and so date, so and so amount. Withdrawal is done on so and so date, so and so amount. So and so amount has been transferred from your accounts to someone account. Like this and all, everything will be stored in the bank database. That is what the transactions details such as deposit, withdrawal, or transfer of amount from one account to another account. That and all information will be stored in the database. Thus, generating the accounting statement is easy and quick. You can just get the accounting statement, complete information, will get the everything, that account details and everything will be accessed very easily and quickly. This is about the second application of a banking database. Well, move on to the third application of database is communication application. Communication application means what we use in order to communicate with one people to another people. We'll just make use of the smartphones. Okay, we'll just dial, we'll receive, we'll browse, everything. That everything will be recorded in their database. That is what it does. All the communication details such as incoming calls. You will receive a call when someone will dial your number. You will get a ring and you will just receive the a call and you will answer. Okay, that and all will be recorded. Calls and durations, everything will be recorded in their database. All the communication details such as incoming calls, outgoing calls. Outgoing calls means you made call to someone, some of your friends and all. Okay, incoming calls, outgoing calls, or messages, the text messages you are going to share with one with another, that and all will be recorded in the database. Okay, incoming calls, outgoing calls, or messages are recorded in the, where it will be recorded in their database. Okay, in their database. Therefore, tracing the numbers used for communication and making the bill is easy. Okay, that means therefore tracing the numbers and used for communication and making the bill is easy. One can easily trace out so and so, oh, from this number it has been called so and so durations, that and all will be recorded in their database. Okay, next, the fourth applications of a database. The first one, academic application. Second one, banking application. Third one, communication application. Well, move on to the fourth one, business applications. Business applications. Before going to say this one, business. Everyone I think everyone is aware of this. Most of shopping malls. See, what exactly happens in shopping malls is you'll go for a shopping mall and you will purchase so and so, that and all the products, which may be a clothing or which may be anything, that and all the product information will be stored in their database. What they will do first, what you will do, you will purchase so and so things and you will go for a cash counter where you will be waiting in a cash counter. When it comes your turn, you will just place the things on the cash counter. What he will do, he will take the product and he will focus those products on a barcoded area. That is what the barcoded area. He will focus in that area. Automatically, the product information and the product quantity and all, everything will be displayed on the computer system, that is on monitor. That means everything will be stored in their database. See, in shops, malls, and share markets, business transactions and item details are stored. That is what I said. Okay, product details are going to be stored in shops, malls, and share markets. Business transactions and item details are stored in the database for online access, where everyone is aware of this online shopping and all. Most of them are aware of this Flipkart.com. Second one, Amazon.com. What you will do in order to just search for a smartphone or laptop or computers. Okay, what you will do, you will just type the same thing in the search bar, smartphones. So automatically everything will be displayed. The information which is related to smartphone will be displayed from the database. Or else if you are going with some other products, you will just type the things in a search bar and you'll just hit the arrow mark. The information which is related to that will be displayed in a fraction of a second. That everything will be stored in there. Everything will be stored in their database. Okay, the fourth application is for. Well, move on to the next one, a fifth one, that is Aadhaar database. Everyone is having their own Aadhaar card. I think 100% everyone is having their own Aadhaar. Okay, so during the making of Aadhaar card, okay, Aadhaar, what they will do, they will take the complete information, right? Name, father name, date of birth, address, and your fingerprints and retina scan. Everything will be stored in their database. Have a look at this. This is the biggest database in the world. That means most of almost 16 million people's data will be stored in the database. Their name, their date of birth, their address, their number, contact number, everything will be stored in the database. This is the biggest database in the world, storing a data about 60 million people residing in India. Throughout the entire nation, most of them are almost 60 to 70 million people have their own Aadhaar number. Okay. The last application is airlines for reservations and scheduled information. As I said, the first example when I started the chapter, we have given the example as a railway. Here, airlines for reservation and scheduled information. That means at what time the flight will come and at what time the flight will depart. That and all information you can easily access from their database. Right? These are the 6 applications of a database. Most important, this has been asked in a previous question paper, that too for 5 marks. Applications of a database. Once again, the first one, academic applications. Second one, banking applications. Third one, communication application. Fourth one, business applications. And fifth one, Aadhaar database. And sixth one, airlines. These are the 6 applications of a database. Okay, well, move on to the next one. Now, origin of data. Origin. So, before origin of data means we'll just have again the definitions of data and all. Okay. So have a look at this. We have just made the different color just to highlight the definition of the term called as data. Most of them are aware of these 2 definitions. The first one is data and the second one is information. That is, this is what we have discussed in the last year in the beginning time. Data is the collection of facts, figures or statistics which can be processed. The raw data can be processed to produce what? Meaningful information. Once again, data is a collection of facts, figures or statistics which can be means data can be processed to produce what? To produce a meaningful information. So the process of converting the fact to data will be the first task. For any person in the database concept, the human intervention is interrupting. The human intervention is mandatory for converting from fact to data form. Okay. The data may be in the form of letter. The raw data may be anything. The raw data may be in the form of letters, or which may be in the form of numbers, or which may be in the form of symbols or images or sound or video. The raw data may be anything, maybe letters, maybe numbers, or maybe symbols or images or sound, or even it may be a video. These are all of the raw material, etc. The origin of the fact can be from the origin of the fact can be from the organization within or outside organization or any part of the universe. The data, the origin of data which may be available within the organization or which may be available outside the organization. In order to collect the data or raw material, we have to just survey. The data may be available within the organization. Sometimes the data may not be available within the organization. I must go for an outside. That is what they have said. The origin of the fact can be from the organization within or outside the organization or any part of the universe. For example, the marks obtained by the student in the exam is 80. Once again, I'll repeat. The marks obtained by the student in the exam is 80. Say for example, so and so person has got the marks as 80. 80 is the fact. 80 is the fact. That is what 80. Sure, 80 is the marks which is secured by a so and so student. On the marks card, the 80 entered will be what? The 80 entered will be numeric symbols, which is data. That is what the data. Okay, this is just an actual example. Okay, now we'll move on to the second term, that is information. Most of them are aware of this definition, right? Information is a processed data. Information is a processed data with some definite meaning. That is what we have studied in the last year, data and information. Information represents fact, figures, or statistics which have what? Which have a proper meaning, a perfect meaning. Data and information. Data is an unprocessed information. Information is a processed data, which is having a proper meaning. For example, in the marks card of the student, total marks, comma, percentage, and result. I'll repeat once again. In the marks card of the student, total marks, percentage, and the result are what? Processed data. See, I'm just highlighting here total marks and percentage. Total marks and percentage. See this, how do you get total marks? See, we have got so and so marks in one subject, 80, 70, 60, 80, 90. These are all the raw data, a raw material. 80 is secured, 70 is secured, 75 is secured in one subject, and 92 is secured in so and so subject. These are all the raw data. What we have done, we have just processed by adding all 6 subject marks. 80 plus 70 plus 75 plus 90 plus 92 plus 95, that and all. We have just added. Why we are adding? We are processing the data. We are processing the raw data to get the meaningful information. That is why here in the marks card of the student, total marks, comma, percentage. How do you calculate the percentage? Percentage is equals to total marks divided by a maximum marks into 100. Total marks, say for example, so and so marks divided by 600 into 100. We'll get the percentage. That is nothing but that is what the processed information. Processed information. And the results. The 3 things here, total marks, percentage, and result are the processed data known as information. The definition, data and information. This is what the definition for the term called as a data, and here we have given an example for the data, and this is what the information definition, and this is an example for the information. Well, move on to the next slide. So evolution of data, evolution of database, manual file system, that means without the help of computers. Historically, when the file management came into an existence, such systems were often manual. That means pen and paper based, without the help of machine. Everything is based on the pen and paper. They used to maintain the ledgers. Paper and pencil system, that is what I said. Paper and pencil system. The papers within these systems were organized to facilitate the expected use of the data. Typically, this was accomplished through a system of file, folders, and filing cabinets. As long as collection of data was relatively small. See, this and all we can do it for when we are when it is having a too small. Then it is possible to maintain in a manual file system. If the organization is too large, it's very difficult to maintain the manual file system. That is what they said. As long as collection of data was relatively small and organization's user had few reporting requirements, the manual system served its role well as a data repository. However, as organization grew, and its reporting requirement becomes more complex. That means if the organization is too large, at that time, the manual file system will be very difficult to manage. One has to go for the electronic filing system. That is what with the help of machine, computers and all. However, as organization grew and as a reporting requirement becomes more complex, keeping track of data in a manual file system becomes more difficult. Keeping track of data, and all that and all, it becomes a very difficult to keep track in a manual file system becomes more difficult. Therefore, companies looked to computer technology for help. So this manual file system will be good when the organization is too small. It's very easy to manage. When the organization is too large, it's very difficult to manage. It's very difficult to manage the whole things and all. Okay. Therefore, the companies look to the computer technology for help. Now, just have a look at this. This is the most important difference between a manual and a computerized data processing. Difference between a manual and computerized data processing. This is a most important. It has been asked for 5 marks in a most of the time in the previous question papers. Repeated times has been asked. You're supposed to write the difference. What are all the things you are going to face in the manual processing and what are all things you are going to notice in the electronic data processing. There are 2 columns. The first column where you can see here manual data processing. In the second column where you can see easily electronic data processing. The first point, there are only 5 points in each side. So you need to be aware of these 5 points. Okay. The volume of data which can be processed is limited in a desirable time. The volume of data which can be processed is limited and in a desirable time. It is difficult to manage a large volume of data in manual processing. It's a limited, only so and so limit. These things can be done in manual processing. You cannot do large things in a manual data processing. Only a certain, it's a restrictions. You can do maximum here, you can do maximum up to this like this. The volume of data which can be processed is limited and in a desirable time. In so and so time, you need to do this much. That's it. But in the second column, have a look at it, the electronic data processing. The volume of data which can be processed can be very large. You can do large amount of data can be processed in which side? Electronic data processing. There is no limit at all. You can do it. Maximum you can process the data in electronic data processing. But in manual, it's a limited. Now, coming back to the second point in manual data processing. Manual data processing requires large quantity of papers. That means why we need large quantity of paper means we don't have any kind of a computers and all. Everything will be maintained in the papers and pen. Large ledgers and all. Everything they used to maintain in the notebooks and ledgers. That is why it requires large quantity of paper. In electronic data processing, a reasonable less amount of paper is used. Very limited papers are used in the electronic data processing compared to manual. The third point in the manual data processing is speed and accuracy at which the job is executed is limited. Speed and accuracy in manual data processing, initially it is good in a speed and accuracy. When it goes on increases, when time goes on increases, at that time the speed and accuracy we could not achieve at the right thing in a manual. Okay, but in the electronic data processing, the job executed is faster and accurate. In the beginning also faster and accurate. At the end of the during the processing of end time, at that time also faster and accurate. There is no variations at all in electronic data processing. And coming back to this manual data processing, the fourth point, labor cost is high. We need to hire the people for maintaining the ledgers and all. Okay, we need to pay huge amount for them. That is why labor cost is high. Here in electronic data processing, labor cost is economical. Okay, no need to give a huge amount. one has to appoint a one person for he will just process the data. For him, we need to give a training in the beginning time. Okay, once he becomes a perfect, then he can do easily and very fast. And the last point is that is storage medium is paper. Storage medium is paper. That means where everything is stored in the manual only. You need to have a papers and files, everything that and all. Storage medium will be paper. There is no secondary storage devices in the manual data processing. But whereas in the electronic data processing, storage medium is the secondary storage medium. That means you with the help of secondary storage devices, you can store the data like CD, DVD, and hard disk and pen drive and all. And that you can store the processed data. This is about the difference between manual and computerized data processing. This is the most important question which has been asked many times in the previous question paper, that too for 5 months. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video.